Hey, it's Dave Knight here. Wanted to make hopefully not too long of a video. I just wanted to go over and put this up on YouTube because it's been a while since I put a video up there and just let you know what's going on in my life. Right now, obviously, if you don't know, I've been coaching my oldest son's football team this year, helping out on that team, the 11 and 12-year-olds. We are the best 0-3 team in the league. Oh, it's a tough game. Our very first game, we got beat pretty bad. We weren't ready for that game. But our next two games, I will help out on the defensive side of the ball, and we have shut down the opposing teams on defense. But on our offense, which I don't have any say in that area, which I've been desperately trying to have a say, but I've not been able to have a say for the most part through this whole season at this point in time. But our defense is playing well. Our offense can't put points on the board, but our defense is playing well. Anyway, so um, that's neither here or there. Anyway, so what I want to talk about is obviously I want to talk about the trade. I'm going to specifically talk about the crude oil opening range trade that I normally take on any given day that I'm looking in the market, and that's what you see in front of you. See the vertical lines and the horizontal lines, and I'll go over that in a little bit more detail. But before I do that, what I want to talk about is the funded trader preparation that I just went through and passed, and now I'm in the process of becoming a live funded trader within TopSTEPTrader. So it's been a long process. If those that have been following me know that it's been about a year since I started with TopSTEPTrader. I had looked at them previously, but I got serious about this whole process in May, but I got super serious in July, late July into August. So August, I can say August of 2015 is where I got very serious about here. I'm having to put my ankle up because I pulled my plantaris muscle, popped it actually. Anyway, long story short, notice that I traded the 10 days. I had a profitable day percentage of 80%. Largest winning trade 1305. Largest losing day, by the way, 80% on 10 days. That means I had two losing days. This shouldn't have been 463, should have been around 370, 380, but I took one extra trade that day because it looked good and I wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to at least try to get. So I had three losses in a row that day. Normally I hold myself to two losses, but that was that day being September 4th, I took three trading losses that day. The other day that I had a 381 or 371 or whatever that is, I believe that was two losses, or it might have been a loss, a break even, and let me look at the days here. Yeah, it was three trades. It was a loss, a break even, and then another loss, and then I just called it a day on that day. So that ended up being my losing days. The winning days, some of those had a loss on the first trade and made up the gain on the next one. Some of them were I was in the trade and like the day 9 was I was in short and it came back and took me out at break even. I believe on day 10 I was in the trade long and I was taken out at 1p profit. So anyway, you can go through the blog posts that I put up together. I went through all the FTP days within the blog and put my charts up that I used and did some commentary. So you feel free to go through all that and you can look at each individual day. On the blogs, some from September 1st, with the exception of day 9, I didn't record that. I only had a 2-tick gain that day, but I took a short trade. It went to 1p profit target, and then it came back to break even and took me out. I had already won the FTP, though, at day 6 and 7. I actually won it on day 1, but I had to get the 10 trading days in. So so basically what I'm getting at is that I'd already won, and I knew that I was going to win it, but I was also trying to see how far I could get above the $2,000 mark because I crested above that. I think my high of the account was around almost 2,500, and I finished at 2,383. Anyway, I just trade crude oil. That's the only market I like. It's very volatile. It's a very it's a double-edged sword market, right? But the key to my overall success, I'll have to say, is just pretty much one thing. And well, it's my three basic trading rules. It's cut your losses short, let your profits run, but take profits along the ride. Those three are my main profit rules that I use. I try to always, what I'm end up doing. No, one of the things you can definitely see here, let me bring that back up here so you can see it, is the average win against the average loss. My average win was 312. My average loss was 115. If you would calculate that out, that's like 2.7 to 1. So I'm usually looking to get above the 2 mark. So I want to be 2 to 1, 3 to 1, or greater. So that's kind of where I want to be in any given day. So I fulfilled that mark. Basically, what that means is that I want to take more away from my wins, or in other words, let my profits run. And then obviously the other side of that is cut my losses short. So, for instance, I think the last trading day that I had, I took 27 ticks out and had a 12 tick stop loss. So if I would have taken 2 losses in a row, it'd have been 24 ticks. And if I'd have taken that third and won that one, then it would have been 27 ticks on a win side, and I still would have netted 3 ticks plus commission cost out of break even. A lot of times, what you'll see me do in some of these days is that I'm ended up like day 2, I believe, was I took a loser and then I had a win. So, and that's where you see the 68 or 88, whatever that says over there. That was it was 2 trades. The first one ended up being a loser, and the second one ended up I had like a 1p profit hit, and so then I ended up overall a little above the break-even mark, I guess. But that's kind of the way that I look at it. I'm always trying to take more away from my winning trades than I do on my losing trades. So that, in a nutshell, explains how I go about trading. And obviously, I'm looking at my signals. Now, those that have been following me over the last several months and the free trading strategy that I put out on my 1, 2, 3 day trade know that I look at the opening range trade, and this was the opening range trade today being Thursday, September 17th, 2015. This is the 8 o'clock mark right here, and here's the 8:05. Now we finally see, let me get my screen draw tool. We did not have an entry point to come in here until right here. This was our first entry point, right this area right there, and you notice that you see about 5 of them right through here that go over my orange line, which is 400 in volume, and it shows that I want to be a seller of the market. Now, what I saw is right here is I need, for this individual trade, I need to be in the trade before 8:30. So here was my 1 point right here, and this whole area, and then it comes down, it goes back up, and then comes back down. Now, my sell point would have been underneath this mark right here. So here's my 1, here's my 2, here's my 3, and my sell point would have been right here to go underneath this right here. Did it go underneath this at all? No. More importantly, did we go past 8:30? Yes. So today, being September 17th at the 8:30 mark, there was no trade. So once again, one of the most important things that I think you can take away from trading is that you don't have to trade every day to be successful. So this trading strategy had a no trade today, which I call CL port. So it stands for crude oil power open range trade. I just call it CL port method. And I look to get in the market before the 8:30 mark. So once again, if I would put the vertical line at 8:30, which we'll do right now, let's find the 8:30 mark where it goes to 8:30, right there. So we physically did not even have our 2 point established before we hit the 8:30 mark. So, and notice that since I'm looking short, and I look at the highway. So what I look for pretty much is I'm looking for a close underneath. This is close right there to closing underneath the highway, but it does not close under the highway. Therefore, it's not a trading signal. You'll say, oh, why didn't I go short there? Well, we didn't get a close underneath my highway right here. This is my highway that you see right here. and it's where I make my trading decisions off of. When I'm going 1, 2, 3, I want to see it come. Basically, I want to see if this is my. Let me draw it here. This is my highway, and this is my 1 point. I want to see it come underneath it, go back above. Well, that's not actually the way it should look. Hold on, let me do this again. If I'm looking to go short, the highway, let's say the highway is going like this. Well, it wouldn't actually be going like that, but the highway would be looking like, forget it. The highway, anyway, let me draw the 1, 2, 3 first. So like the 1, 2, 3 would look something like this, and then you'd come in, right? There would be your 1, 2, 3. It wouldn't go crest above the other mark right here. This would be your 2. This would be your 3 point right here. And the highway would come in like this, come through, come back around, and then it would come down like that. This is kind of how the highway would look. What I would need, though, is the highway to come underneath. I mean, the price action to come underneath the highway for me to make that 2 point. So this is what you see right here. Right here, you see it come underneath. The price action comes underneath the highway, and it finally crests to a bottom right here and goes back above the highway right here. And so therefore my selling point is right here, but it actually physically doesn't give me an entry point anywhere through this period of time. And in fact, at the 8:30 mark, which is the end of the CL port method, and then we move to step 2 of my trading strategy, where I'm looking for the HVS bar of a greater than 700 or more to bring me into a trade. Basically, what I'm trying to do is keep away from a non-trending market, right? When you don't make a trade in any given day and you have a reason to stay out of a trade, so trying to stay out of a non-trending day is kind of the synopsis of why the CL port method is such a valid trading strategy, because I'm looking to get in before the 8:30 mark, anywhere in between pretty much from 8:05 a.m. to 8:30. So that's 25 minutes to get into a trade. That's a lot of time as a day trader to get into a trade. And if it's not going to trend within that 25 minutes, then you need to have a plan. So in other words, I kick into plan B. And if you look at my spreadsheet, my plan B is LVL TW HVS 700, which means basically what it means is let volume lead the way, and I want to see volume greater than 700 in volume before I make any trading decision. I'm not going to go through that trading decision at all. I went through the CL port method. I went through my FTP. I passed. I'm getting ready to be a live funded trader here at TopSTEPTrader. And I'm debating about if I want to take on more students or any students right now within the period of time. But it's been a pleasure to help everybody out that I've helped so far, and I look forward to helping those that need help. And a lot of times, I've done it pro bono, so I've done it without charging anything to anybody. But lately, I debated about what that price point would be, and lately, I haven't even made up my mind what that price point is. But I know that my how much is it worth to you to learn how to trade? Well, what I can tell you is that my funded trader, you start at 0, and I ended up earning 2,300 over 10 trading days just trading one contract. So that's pretty standard, I would say, in a volatile market. Being able to get even greater than that. I mean, there's all kinds of better traders than me. I just have a way of trading the markets, in this case, the crude oil market, so that I win more than I lose. And that pretty much is the synopsis of why I've ended up becoming a successful trader. And that's why I've got a green L on my name, TradeCraze, at TopSTEPTrader now when you're there. So hopefully that goes through everything I wanted to go through. I want to keep this video short and sweet to keep it under 15 minutes. God bless, take care, kind regards, and we'll see you on the next video that I put together. Bye for now.